Hi and welcome to another session of advanced readings. This is a technique that we use in spiritualism a lot, and it also inspired me when I had the oracle readings through the Nadi oracles, where messages were given to me thousands of years in advance, mind-boggling stuff. And also, of course, it's used in when you're using clairvoyance by email reading and sometimes by telephone. You know things before the person calls you. So I'm inspired by this technique and I hope it helps you. There could be a message here for you today. So you'll see me working in blue light for this, because this is how the medium can get close to spirit. We often use a red or blue light in my circle, particularly if you're doing physical or trance work. Anyway, hope you enjoy these sessions. The first message, I'm just hearing the name Wesley. Wesley. Now I know Wesley was Methodists, wasn't it? So I don't know if this person had something to do with Methodism in the past, or whether this is the name, because I feel this name feels significant to me, and I feel I want to also give the name as a surname, Stevens, and someone would also understand the Christian name Justin. All these would have significance for the person. And there's another name, Bailey, that I want to say for a younger person here. Those names are significant to you in the family connection of the person that I'm trying to communicate with now, who's watching this at the moment. And I want to give a message from somebody in the spirit that was very religious. Now I'm not sure if that's Methodist, but I get the sense that the person that's trying to communicate had a very strong Christian feel to them. In fact, it's a couple, because I feel a man and a woman that were both very had spent a lot of time with Salvation Army type work, helping the poor. And it's the gentleman that's going to come forward to me here, though his wife was also, because they both wear black, so I get this feeling of it's like Wesleyism, you know, like old-fashioned Victorian look to them. And I think they're just trying to reference the past here. Now the gentleman that's linked to me, who was a real philanthropist in his life, he didn't have a lot of money, but what he had he gave away. And I'm just trying to get his name, just a minute. Franklin. Okay, I heard that name, Franklin. It's something like that. Okay, Franklin, I think he's trying to say to me, is a name that's certainly either his name or somehow significant to what he does, or something like that. And I feel he's talking to somebody that's watching this who is also trying to do very similar to what he did. Not in a religious way, but trying to help the world somehow. He's trying to do something where there's a bit like I do with my foundation, you know, trying to gather money together to help other people. And I can just sense him talking about this and saying you're doing a good job. And he works very much with the homeless. And I think you've, the person watching this who would understand this message, also worked with the homeless, but is also now helping people in Africa and India and places like that where there really are starving people. And you're expanding your work. And I'm just seeing you doing raising funds in quite big type of dinner events and things like this, right? So you're doing very well with it, and I just feel he wants to make the connection with you, because he had his own interest in the church. And I think I'm looking here at America, because I'm seeing those old American style churches, like the typical American churches where they have that very pointy sort of spires on top of them, wooden churches, like they have in the I've not seen them, but you know, I've seen them in the movies and things. And so I'm feeling him working with that. He must have been quite a bit of an evangelist in his time as well, I say. So to talk through a medium, he's also pretty tolerant, I want to say as well. And he talks about tolerance, because actually, although he was evangelical in the fact that he tried to bring many people to his ideas of religion, he was also very tolerant to all other faiths. So this is where he's very different to some people that get onto that path. And he's and also for the person that's receiving this message, now this will seem odd, but he's showing me an elephant. Okay, but it's a story about an elephant, but I think what he's showing me is it's a small item that's like an elephant. It's a small statue or golden thing that's like an elephant that was kept in his home. It might have been on the mantelpiece. And it's supposed to be lucky, aren't the elephants? So he also says this to the person that's doing this. He's wishing you good luck with your work, because he says luck comes from the Lord, he says, but at the same time we also need to think about a bit of luck. So he's quite humorous, quite fun as well with his attitude towards himself and his beliefs, actually. So he didn't get silly with it and get Bible bashing, but he really had a very strong faith. And they also, to the person that's receiving this message, I want to say, he said, you've had to move home and you didn't like the idea of moving home, but it's working out and you've got new people around you, and amongst those new people I want to feel there's something he's trying to say to me here about that there's lots of opportunities and people willing to help you with what you want to do.
So maybe that message was for you, and if it was, please do leave a comment in the comments below on YouTube so that other people can recognize that this is real. I mean, if you look back at some of the older videos, you'll see that some of the most strange and obscure messages have been taken to the letter, and there's been some interesting stories that have developed once a person has made the comment. So leave a comment, and even if the message isn't for you, it's still a good idea to leave a comment, because this helps Spirit to connect with us and maybe get you a message next time.
Okay, now the next message is, I'm hearing the name Malcolm, or we might call himself Malk, and Elizabeth, who might call herself Liz. Malk and Liz. So I feel like those two names want to go together. And there's a sense here of something about a restaurant, that someone's running a restaurant, or there's something with food, a food outlet of some sort. And it's not been going that well. It's been a bit difficult. It's been a bit hard going. And my feeling is that keep at it, keep at it, keep at it. That's what I want to say. Now, there's Elizabeth, I think, is here on earth, so I think the spirit person is trying to connect with you, and I feel I want to go to a motherly sort of link. I don't know if it's your mum that I've got here that's wanting to speak to you, or it's a grandmother on mum's side, but I'm a little bit confused because I've been doing a few of these today, and she's saying, okay, this is just part of the proof. You've just recently, the doors have been taken off and put back on again, right? The doors were taken off and the new doors were put on, or there was something done to fix them all. We had a door take. We don't do that very often, do we? So that's something that I feel saying that helps to connect with the person that's out there that's receiving this message. I try to give very specific things. These are not generalities we do on this. We are always very specific. And she's talking here about, okay, she's more worried about the things that have been happening to you, possibility of a bank foreclosure, but I feel you're going to put them off, right? And you're going to keep it going and focus on making the money rather than worrying about just paying the money. Earn it as much quick as you can, and that's probably the best way to deal with some of the intransient problems you've got. But don't ignore it. Obviously, keep telling you about, get those figures up. You don't need much more to keep the boat afloat, is what I've got to say. And you're a really good restaurant, I've got to say, but the problem is you're a bit too good, because most people want the junky food. It might be better to put a few extra things on the menu that can appeal to the ordinary person rather than the connoisseur. That's what she says to me, because this grandmother here, I feel, has given this. She was also a very good cook, but also a very basic cook from her point of view. So a good home cooking type of recipe. It's a bit like that Ratatouille with the mouse movie from Disney. I mean, I just feel, you know, sometimes it's the simple foods that appeal most to people. And you had a restaurant before and it went wrong, she says. This is the second attempt, so it's doubly worrying for you, but you'll get there. Okay. I've also got her husband is over there with her. I just feel him connecting with us here. I don't know if there was actually somebody in the family that was actually a funeral director, because I've just seen I've seen lots of someone making coffins. So that's not a prediction, understand. I'm just seeing that there's just something in the family tree somewhere there where the person used to make the coffins or had something to do with undertaking. She's saying to me here in the family. And also when we go back in the family, there was some very interesting family tree stories of explorers going right back in the past, because I'm seeing long sea journeys. Okay, so those are all things to help you to give some connection, some bits of evidence that might connect this with you. But she's saying not to worry, you'll get there in the end. Just have faith in yourself, and get the bank manager to have a bit of faith in you too, and I feel you'll get there in the end. Okay, for this message, I'm just being told the 3 ships. All right. Now I don't know if that's a place or a book or something, but the recipient of this message would understand the 3 ships. All right. I don't know what it means, but I feel it's like I get the sense it's a reference to a place that you know, right? And the person that's speaking to me is a very intelligent man, who would have been a school teacher or a lecturer or something like that in his life. And this message won't be for you unless you understand that first reference that I've got there. So he's telling me that he worked at university, and it was a university that had quite a high level. It's sort of like, I think I'm going to America with this again, because I heard Duke. So I know there's a Duke's University in America, and I got a sense that I think they did some psychical research at that place or something, but this man had some connection with that somewhere. And he's telling me, he's speaking to me like in Latin for some reason. I can't speak Latin, but it's as if there's a Latin phrase that you'd understand. Oh God, this is a confusing message. Sorry guys, but this is a strange one. But if someone understands this and can take it, you'll have to explain it to me what it's about. But please put it in the message, of course, at the bottom of the page. But he's saying about that there was 3 ships. Why are you telling me here? And well, whoever's doing this, whoever this is for, has been also doing their own little personal study into the paranormal, I feel, and been trying to do it in a way that is scientific and empirical, as if you can get some provable things. And I think this is where this gentleman comes in, because he was very interested in this type of analytical sort of research and giving proof. So I think that something what I've said there might be significant to someone that's doing research somewhere. And it can be a bit curt sometimes, I've got to say, because I feel he's part of his personality seems to be very, that's my bit, I've said my bit, and that's it, I'm done. And I said, well, haven't we got any messages for the people out there? Well, okay, I just again feel that the people that are watching this is somebody that has got very keen interest in research into these type of things. So I'm not saying it's a big project, it's like your own personal research, I feel. And you've asked for a message and you asked for something specific, and I feel that I've picked up on something that you've sent out there and hoping to almost test me to see how true this is what I do with this type of work. So I think I'm going to leave it there, because I think it's as simple as that. This is something that somebody has sent out a message to the etheric, as it were, and say, I wonder if Craig will pick that up. And it's just something that's come through. So it's a bit random, a bit odd, but intriguing. So again, if it's right, please don't just email me on these things. Please put the messages in the comments so that I can we can all understand that there's reality to what we're doing here. Okay, thank you.
So I hope that helped, because it's lovely doing this and giving messages to people out there, and I know some of you get very excited by the messages that you get, so thank you for your feedback. And if you do enjoy watching all this, why not come and get a reading at my website, because I've got a team of readers, that are on there 24/7, and there's lots of special deals there at the moment. For example, in the UK, if you're a new customer, you can use our welcome offer and get 29p a minute for the first 10 minutes, so you can try a reading for very little. Same with the USA, we've got 59 cents per minute for the first 10 minutes on the welcome offer. So thanks for watching my channel, and do come back and follow us. Click that little bell thingy at the bottom of the page there. We do loads of things here, as well as all these readings. We've got my family involved. We've got all sorts of investigations. We've got my mystic talks, so we're inspired. We got lots of readings. You'll see our stuff with the media and all sorts of things. So keep watching, and keep watching now, because coming up will be the playlist of more videos like this one today. So there could be another message there for you today.